Everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for our webinar presentation on Honeywell Healthcare Solutions for Today's Evolving Needs. I'm Phoebe Cresswell, and I'm going to be your host and presenter today. Before we begin, I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping reminders. So number one, this webinar will be recorded. Recording will be sent out to all of you who are able to attend. Those who were not able to attend as well, that will be going out shortly after our webinar is concluded. Upon entry of this webinar, your lines have been automatically muted. Please keep them muted throughout the entirety of the presentation to ensure we don't have any distractions or interruptions. Our presentation today, we've got about 30 minutes planned for you all, so I will do my best to keep us all on track and on time. And then if you do have any presentations, any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to use the Q&A section located at the bottom right hand of your Zoom screen. Time permitting, if we end early, we will get to your questions at the end of the presentation. All right, so we will go ahead and begin. So again, thank you all to who all was able to join today. I'm Phoebe Cresswell. I am the Healthcare Marketing Manager for Honeywell Productivity Products Division. So our agenda for today, we are going to go through some workflows specifically for healthcare and some solutions for today's needs. We are going to talk through our healthcare product portfolio as a friendly reminder for what we have available today. I want to give a nod to our disinfectant-ready housing and some of the differences of disinfectant and then antimicrobial as well. I want to give some stock updates just to let everyone know where our supply chain's at, how we're doing on our Honeywell stock products, and then just a friendly reminder of some resources that we have available as well. So to dive right in, I wanted to address some key workflows where Honeywell's healthcare solutions fit and where we are really hyper-focused with our healthcare strategy for 2020. So we have 4 main workflows that I'll be going through today. So the first workflow that we want to address, and this goes to the very beginning of any type of patient experience as they enter a hospital. So that is patient care and patient identification. So our approach with Honeywell is from check-in to discharge. We want to accurately associate the right patient with their electronic medical record. So it is vitally important to always have full visibility on your patient as soon as they enter the door, all the way through their process to when they are discharged and they can go home. So a lot of our Honeywell solutions we have built to easily read patient ID cards, to scan driver's licenses, and to also match them with their wristband barcodes so that we can hopefully reduce dangerous and costly errors with incorrect patient identification. So one of our key workflows for this is admissions. Again, as soon as the patient enters or needs to be admitted to the hospital, we at Honeywell, we want to make sure that we have all of their records intact. They have a positive, a quick, easy, and efficient check-in process. So some of our recommended products that are a great fit for patient identification and admission includes actually some healthcare products from each one of our primary lines of business. So we do recommend our Xenon XP 1952 barcode scanner, our CT40 Honeywell Healthcare mobile computer, and then we do have a good legacy product. We have the PC23D patient wristband printer. We do have Honeywell media that is also specifically designed for the healthcare environments to print accurate patient wristbands. So another key workflow, and this one is especially important for what's going on in the world today and some of the immediate needs that are popping up all over the country and all over the world. So the second workflow that we are focused on is clinician productivity. We want to make sure that the care team and any clinician teams are more effective and efficient, and that we're providing them with the right mobile solutions so that they can access patient data, but that they can also communicate with all of the care teams throughout the hospital. So some of the key workflows here that I want to discuss are any type of voice and text communication for your care coordination teams. With the clinician productivity and our mobile solutions, that does include EHR, EMR access for all of the patient lookups that they need to do to access their records. And if they need to look up any type of medical device apps or look up other applications that are specific to their needs. So why this is important today, right? So typically within a hospital environment, they are only communicating within the hospital walls. But in today's climate, we know that some of our care and patient teams are being pulled outside of hospital walls, and that they're set up in parking lots with drive-through testing facilities, and that they're opening triage tents in other areas around the hospital. So this is especially important today in that with the enabling clinicians to be efficient, to be effective, we know that they are at the front lines. They do not have time to waste, but that they also may have teams now who are located outside of the hospital walls and need to be able to communicate back and forth. So we are hyper focused on clinician activities and have our solutions. They are specifically designed to help with some of these workflows. So recommended products, right? We do have a full suite of mobile devices and mobile solutions for clinician and care team. We highlight here and we lead with our CT40 healthcare mobile computer. We also do have the EDA 51 mobile computer, so both of these being Android products. And then we still have for those, we know that a lot of hospitals, a lot of healthcare are quickly deploying some iPhone, Apple type devices as well. They still need to be protected and they still need to be turned into a good full clinician solution for mobility. So that's why we do have our Captuvo sled designed specifically to turn Apple devices, iOS devices into a full, robust healthcare mobile solution. And then later on, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Smart Talk. So this is our Honeywell communications platform that we have just launched that is made ideally to help your clinical and care teams communicate throughout the hospital. So as I mentioned, let's talk a little bit about Smart Talk. So we at Honeywell have launched Smart Talk. It is providing constant and instant connection that allows smarter communication, it improves your experience, and it reduces steps for faster, better outcomes. So I want to highlight some features that are, I think, especially helpful for a healthcare environment. So one of the biggest benefits of Smart Talk is that it has advanced security and encryption. So this would include any type of video calls being made, voice calls, and secure text messaging as well. So similar to other communication devices and platforms that you're used to, you can access your full hospital staff. It integrates with whatever hospital system that they have set up. You can assign different groups and different teams as well to communicate. So you can do one-to-one calls with Smart Talk. You can do group calls. You can do single text messaging. You can do group messages as well. So this is very important. And it does also offer PBX interoperability with over 20 different market-leading providers. So it is able to connect with any other type of solutions or applications that a hospital may already have in place. There is a desktop version available, and why this would be beneficial to a healthcare provider, you may have your nurse and care teams who are, out in the parking lot doing testing, doing triage for incoming patients today. They need to communicate with another care member who's located inside of the hospital. But the desktop version, you may have someone who's stationary, so a manager or a director who they may need to escalate an issue or a concern or have a question. So even if someone is stationary and not working on a small mobile device, there is a desktop version that your stationary workers who may be centered at a nurse's station, anyone in the IT department. So regardless of where you are, everyone's able to connect and communicate on the same platform. And then one of the biggest features about Smart Talk is that it is actually device agnostic. So while it is a Honeywell offering, it can also be used on competitive devices like your iPhone, your Apple, Samsung devices. If organizations have deployed Zebra or SpectraLink, similar offerings to what we have. So if they have a mix of mobile devices, Smart Talk is the one platform that they can use to communicate and link all of those devices together. So the next workflow I want to talk about is patient safety and security. So we want to provide instant access to patient EHR records, EMR records, and again, empower the clinicians with the data they need at the point of care. So again, for today's climate and where we are, we know that there are needs coming and our healthcare workers are being pulled to the front and doing a lot of different workflows that they may be not used to or that they're looking for efficiencies to do that. So some of the key workflows that I want to call out here is specimen collection and meds administration. So we know that there has been a rapid increase in specimen collection workflows, and we're looking to help simplify that process. We want to be able to provide the right and easy technology to use for our frontline healthcare workers to aid them in the additional testing and specimen collection that they're having to do today. And then workflows also including meds administration for those patients who still need to be treated or who are still having to come in for other ailments during this time as well. So here are some recommended products that we think are a great fit for this patient care and security. I want to talk about a workflow that we do have and give an example of some of these products and how they might be able to fit for today's needs. So I want to highlight our Xenon XP 1952 scanners, as well as some of our printer applications as well. So today, again, we have testing facilities that have been set up inside, outside of the hospital. We have other buildings that have been acquired and occupied for rapid testing as well. So a great example of how this could be used is you have a potential patient who is doing some drive-through testing. They drive up. You could use our Xenon XP scanner to quickly scan their driver's license or scan any patient ID card that they may have on them. You can scan them in, and then with our EasyDL license language for our scanners, that can be immediately hooked up to our RP series printer. So that's a mobile label printer that could be hooked up right on a clinician's hip, or it could be strapped around their waist. And then they could easily do their testing, collect the specimen from the driver, from that patient, and then they can take the label right there that already identifies which patient that they're taking care of and have their information right there in one quick workflow. They could also have our CT40 healthcare mobile computer, again, to help them communicate with the teams that are inside of the hospital facilities to let them know that they have collected a new patient or new specimen and that they'll be sending that information through to the hospital for processing or for pickup. So we do have, again, there are multiple, different types of ways, but that's a specific workflow for some of today's needs that we're seeing grow rapid. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we do have Honeywell media that is actually made specifically for the healthcare environment. So part of the big need today, and that we're hearing more and more of, is we do have to have correct specimen labeling and specimen collection for those kits and for any type of vials we have. So Honeywell does specially make pharmaceutical bottle labels as well as specimen collection labels. So another workflow that we are focusing on here is around asset management. So this would include maintaining, distributing, tracking mobile assets and materials that's critical, again, for our patient care, for clinician productivity. So these specifically, some key workflows would apply to your stockroom within the hospital and then also the pharmacy as well. So it helps maintain an asset management for your supplies, for inventory, any type of relabeling that you would have to do. So all of your supplies that come into bulk packaging or meds administration that you have to relabel for individual use. And then again for your pharmacy as well. So why this is especially important, and I want to go through again the recommended product set. So many of you may be familiar with a platform we've launched called Operational Intelligence. So I want to talk through how this could be applied in today's setting and today's needs. So as you know, there are lots, always different types of assets going in and out of your hospital. Today's specific needs is then this is applied to your IT managers and those who are hyper focused on where their technology is and how it's being used. So in today's times, and all of the uncertainty, some folks often resort to some drastic measures. So now there is a hyper focus on security around all of these medical supplies and devices that are being moved in and out of the hospital. We're hearing about mask shortages and gown shortages and glove and sanitizer and you can imagine to keep that protected. And then same thing with their technology and their devices. These mobile units that they have and scanners, printers, they house very important customer information and data. So for an IT manager, how Honeywell Operational Intelligence can give them a lot of visibility into how the devices are performing and where they are at any given time. So a couple features that I want to call out that are especially important for today's needs are the Find My Device feature within the Operational Intelligence platform. Again, normally all of your devices that you're using would stay inside of the hospital walls. So you can track these devices to know where they're at, but now you also have workers who are being called outside of hospital lines. So they're taking that technology with them outside of the hospital walls. So it's especially important to know and to keep track of where they are at all times. Another important feature is battery life and battery health for your devices. So why this is important is time is of the essence. And we talked about wanting to make all of our clinical care staff efficient and effective. So the last thing that they need to be worrying about while they're serving all of these patients coming through is labels, take their specimen. The last thing we want to happen is for them to have a dead battery on whatever device that they're using. So with operational intelligence, it can actually track your device, your battery health and the battery life. So if you have a worker who is out in the parking lot or right in the emergency room with the surge of patients coming in, you can actually test and detect if one of their batteries is about to die. And so you can proactively help replace that so that they're not being pulled away from the front lines and they're not wasting time with dead devices. You can also test and utilize the number of drops, or kind of how your staff is using all of your devices. Are they being really rough with them, and do they fall on the floor a lot, or are they getting good use out of them and that they're easy to use? And then lastly, one of the great features with operational intelligence is the remote management dashboard. So everyone nowadays is having to work from home with maintaining social distancing. So having having access to be able to access all of this remotely, have all this information at your fingertips, but not having to put yourself in harm's way is a great feature and a good benefit. So now that we've kind of talked through some workflows, given some examples, I do want to talk a bit about our healthcare devices that are made for healthcare environments. And this is our disinfectant ready housing. So some of you may know this, but Honeywell was actually one of the first manufacturers to introduce disinfectant ready housing to the market. So we have had this material, this technology for over a decade. And we realize the importance of having our devices be able to withstand, harsh chemicals and cleaning environments, and especially all of the extra precautions that are being taken today. So, and as you all are aware, so the CDC advises that cleaning is the first necessary step to sterilization or disinfection process for disease control. So that's the first thing that you're doing. If anyone has seen on the news the drastic measures that are being taken and all of the extra materials of cleaning any type of device or hardware or technology that patients are coming into contact with. So we do have a complete lineup of healthcare products that are equipped with disinfectant ready housing across our mobile, scan, and printing lines of business. So then I did also want to call out a lot of people claim and talk about antimicrobial solutions, but this unfortunately is not enough. The antimicrobial are typically additives for these plastics, so they contain loosely packed structures. So with these additives, it does make that easier for chemicals to penetrate through that plastic. So they were introduced, and antimicrobial typically talks about inhibiting the growth of mold and bacteria. However, it still does not replace a valid hygienic practices to help maintain infection control. So over time, the antimicrobial additives, they can still be detrimental in how your devices are impacted. So again, we talked about they can eventually penetrate through the plastic of whatever device you have, which leads this to be they're prone to cracking over time, and then ultimately it can compromise the integrity of your device and lead to failure. So disinfectant ready housing is the way to go. So we talked about this. I'm sure you all are wondering about how can we help give the instructions and materials about cleaning instructions for any types of Honeywell products. So I did want to call out, we do have a few resources that are dedicated specifically to our disinfectant ready housing, and also some cleaning resources. So we do have an application brief that is specific to our Honeywell healthcare devices that talks about disinfectant ready housing. It gives cleaning instructions on how to properly clean our Honeywell devices, and it has approved cleaning solutions. So we have this available today in an application brief. And then we do also have some great work that's been done for today's needs, we do have full cleaning and disinfecting instructions for all of our other general use products as well. So products that are sold into other verticals aside from healthcare and don't contain the disinfectant ready housing, we have cleaning devices and instructions available for all of our other mobile computers, printers, and scanners as well. So that's available on our supply chain blog today and on the partner portal if that's of interest to you. So I talked about some of our devices that we have specifically made for healthcare. And again, just wanted to give a nod to what's available today for today's needs in the hospital setting and in a healthcare setting. So our CT40 healthcare mobile computer, it is pocketable, flexible. It's on the Mobility Edge platform as well. So it is Android based. It is a clinical smartphone. So again, it's great for keeping your patient and your care teams coordinated and gives them all of the access that they need to their records and to be able to be efficient. And then other options, I know today there's a lot of cost conscious healthcare providers out there who are just looking for their needs, but they are still cost conscious. So the ScanPal EDA 51, that's a great device as well for someone who's looking for a lower price point. It also comes in our disinfectant ready housing and it is supported by Android. And then we did call out earlier our Captuvo sled line. So again, we know that we are starting to see Apple and iOS devices more and more in healthcare. So this sled turns just your simple iPhone into a complete healthcare mobile solution. So it does have our built-in scanning technology from Honeywell, and then it supports currently the 6, 6S, 7, and 8 versions of iPhones. And again, it's built with our disinfectant ready housing. So a nod to some of our scanners that we have available. For those of you who have been in this business for a long time and very familiar with healthcare, Honeywell has kind of led the way with our scanners specifically made for healthcare. So our newest and latest version is the Xenon XP lineup. Very similar to our legacy Xenon devices, but it is built, better, faster, and stronger. So it's high quality scanning. And again, it's made with our disinfectant ready housing for any types of cleaning environments. There are lots of different labels and barcodes across many different healthcare workflows that this is a great solution for. So something that I wanted to call out while we're talking about scanners is our battery-free technology that we have for scanners today. So we talked about battery life in some of our mobile applications and how oftentimes one of the biggest complaints from healthcare workers is that their devices and their technology that they're using doesn't work. And so often they have to take time away from the patient, go outside of the rooms, leave the patient bedside or their care team. They have to place a call to IT saying, my device doesn't work. I think the battery's dead. So with our battery-free technology, this eliminates batteries altogether. So you won't have dead batteries, you won't have the cost of having to keep and house extra batteries. So we use the supercapacitor technology. So you can eliminate batteries altogether. You don't have to worry about dead scanners, taking your patient care teams away from the patient and having to stop or disrupt any of their workflows. So the battery free is a really great product. It's a great option and is available today. And then lastly, calling out our mobile printers for healthcare solutions. So we talked about our wristband printer, and then we talked about the RP series lineup as well. So while this is not equipped with disinfectant ready housing, we still have instructions on how to properly clean it and keep it disinfected with some of the other solutions. But this is a really great option. It's very durable, it's extremely rugged, and it's compact. So again, it can be set up directly on an in-room wow cart, or in today's needs with the drive-through testing facilities and outside parking lot triage facilities, this is a great option to have looped right there on your hip. So after going through our workflows, I know that there are questions about there around product stock and availability. So I just wanted to speak quickly on this. We do have current healthy stock levels at our 3 distributors, both for our healthcare specific products and then also for our general use Honeywell products as well. So we have good healthy stock, and Honeywell is actively shipping out products. So there should not be any issues with the supply chain, and you should not be seeing long lead times at this time. So if you have opportunities, if you're getting questions around what's available, what can we help supply today, please reach out to your sales rep directly at your preferred distributor. And then we do have Honeywell teams that are dedicated at each distributor as well. So I have their contact information listed. So a lot of different ways that you can get a hold of our distributors to check on stock and availability. And then, as I mentioned, do not forget about our healthcare media also. We do have a complete division. We have a lot of media products that, again, are made specifically for the healthcare environment, including the wristbands, bottle labels, specimen collection labels. So if you have questions also about media availability, we have a media team dedicated to that. And while we're on the topic of healthcare, I did want to remind and introduce, for those who are not familiar, we do have a dedicated Honeywell sales team. We have 3 gentlemen across the country who have healthcare accounts and only live and breathe healthcare. So for those of you who are not familiar with them, I recommend and encourage you all to reach out to them for any of your healthcare needs, questions, collaboration on healthcare accounts. We have these 3 gentlemen. Lee Rogers, he's in the Northeast. We have Mark Ancona, who covers our West, and we have Terry Harris, who covers the Southeast. So a really great healthcare team to help you out there, help engage on projects and any hospitals and accounts that you all may share together. So lastly, as we wrap up, I am conscious of time. We do have a lot of healthcare marketing collateral available out there today. So here is a quick guide. All of our materials are available on the partner portal, and they're also available for co-branding. So in addition to the disinfectant ready housing application we talked about, we have a new healthcare product guide, an ebook about mobility, and then we do have a solution brief on our battery-free scanning technology. So all of these materials available today. So what's next? We talked about healthcare solutions, workflows, products that we have available. So I would encourage you all to engage your channel and healthcare sales team for any assistance, any incoming needs, requests that you have. If you have deals that need to move quickly to supply product and get the needs out there, please engage your channel teams. And then we don't want price to be an obstacle. So it's a very sensitive time right now in the world and in the climate that we're in. So we want to help supply, but we also don't want price to be an issue. So we do have our healthcare products are available on our Hot Sheet Instant Rebate, and also our healthcare products available through our Top Runner deal programs and registrations as well. And we have a new offer for flexible financing as well. So we're offering this with near 0% finance levels and up to a 3-month deferred payments on select deals. So engage your channel teams, engage your healthcare teams, and let us know how we can help you. And then feel free to utilize, circulate our cleaning guides. We want those to be very helpful to make sure that we are following proper protocol and which solutions are approved. So utilize, circulate our cleaning guides. So that concludes the presentation today. I want to thank you all for your time, and we are here to be your partner. So please engage us and let us know how we can help. Hope everyone stays safe, healthy, and have a great weekend. Thank you so much.